In this video, I will be addressing ways to help your child expand their diet if they are limited in foods they are willing to eat. One of the reasons kids can get really limited in their food choices is that the sensory properties of the foods feel overwhelming or unpredictable to them. They might feel disgusted or suspicious of the way a food looks, smells, tastes, feels, even by the way it sounds. One way we can encourage kids to be a little bit more flexible or to take a risk with food experiences is to make really small changes to the foods they already like, or even just change the way it is presented. For example, if your child is willing to eat wheat thins, might they be willing to eat another square cracker, such as a Cheez It? Or if they are willing to eat goldfish crackers, could you change the color of goldfish crackers that they are accustomed to by trying another flavor of goldfish cracker, or possibly give them bunny rabbit crackers instead so that they are a similar color, size, and flavor, but different shape? Providing choices also helps kids to feel a sense of control in the situation. You could offer that their sandwich be cut into triangles or strips instead of the usual squares that they have come to expect. By accepting small changes, we can continue to provide manageable challenges that encourage more flexibility and gradually expand your child's diet. Steps to eating. Try it does not always mean eat it. Given the struggles some kids have with the sensory properties of food, it helps if we, as the adults, can be flexible about what we mean when we ask our kids to try a new food. The steps to eating could be considered a hierarchy, where some steps will be easier and other steps will be more challenging. For example, looking at a food at a distance is probably easier than smelling it close up, while smelling a food may be easier than putting the food in your mouth if you are feeling disgusted by it. When you finally do take a bite of a less familiar food, you are engaging all of your senses at once. So eating a new food is the tip of the iceberg and can be a big ask for our pickier eaters. Given that our picky eaters are generally feeling overwhelmed by the foods presented to them, remember that when you are presenting a new food, only place a small amount on their plate. The less stressed they feel, the more willing they will be to interact with the new food. The key to providing opportunities to get used to the sensory properties of food is to allow your child to play. Playing with food can reduce the pressure kids feel to eat a food they are unsure about, while allowing them to acclimate to some of the sensory properties of it. For example, it is easier to tolerate the way food feels on your fingertips than it is to tolerate the texture of it in your mouth. If your child is unsure about eating the new Cheez It, you could encourage them to just smash it on their plate with their fingertips. They could tap it on the table to find out what it sounds like. Another suggestion is to encourage your child to help choose new foods to try if they join you for grocery shopping. Also, invite them into the kitchen to help you prepare food. They could scoop and pour, stir, and even help cut softer foods with a butter knife. They could use cookie cutters to change the shape of their sandwich, or have them watch you put their favorite fruit into a blender so they can watch it change shape. This is an experience that allows them to see that as foods change shape, they are still the same food. The most important thing to remember while adding the component of play is that it is meant to be low pressure exploration, and while doing so, our kids are getting the sensory exposure to that new food. With playful exploration, the sensory components of foods can begin to feel less unfamiliar. Having repeated exposure to the new food will further your child's familiarity with it. If you decide to have your child play and explore with apple slices, for example, be sure to have this opportunity several times so that they continue to become more comfortable with the way apples look, smell, feel, and hopefully taste. When we're introducing new foods, it's important to remember that it's typical development for kids to like a food one day and not the next, as well as eat lots of food one day and not the next. Try not to get discouraged when your little one eats a new food but refuses to touch it the next time you serve it. You have to eat a new food at least 10 to 20 times before it feels like a familiar and preferred food to you. As you are introducing new foods, use positive language. For example, "Look, I smelled the orange. You could smell it too." Or, "You were so brave when you smashed that banana on your plate with your fingers." Praise their efforts and model enjoying the foods they are exploring. Expanding your child's diet can be a slow process. Try to always have a preferred food at the table so that they feel safe approaching every meal and snack. Continue to eat with your child and use your positive language to comment on what you're experiencing. Keeping mealtime enjoyable for both of you is the most helpful thing you can do to help establish this mealtime routine as a positive one. If you have questions regarding any of the information I have discussed, please reach out to your Early Childhood Care Service Coordinator so that we can continue to support you.